it's a reset and recharge kind of week, but with work thrown in a little bit. I just don't want you to think that I'm not doing anything this week.
Hey, Junie, you gonna come hang out? Hi, sweetie. Hey, you can hang out with me. Hi.
We're not gonna go do stuff yet, okay? You gotta wait a little bit and let me film.
I know. You're such a cutie patootie. You're such a cutie patootie.
Gotta wait a little longer, okay? Go to your place. Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Autumn. I am a 29-year-old digital artist, and I make bright, colorful, goofy little things like this. So if you like my silly little art and you would like to follow my silly little videos, make sure to subscribe and to turn on the notifications so that you will know right away when I post something new. I'm sharing a lot of time-lapse footage these days, so if you're interested in what my process looks like and you want to hear some thoughts about how I work through things, feel free to stick around because that is becoming a big part of these vlogs lately. No one has said that they don't like it, so I'm gonna assume that it's working. The reason why I'm taking a bit of a break right now is because I just finished working for a month and a half between videos on my first collection of coloring pages, which are out now if you'd like to purchase them or just look at them. They're up on my Etsy shop. You can find the link to that in the description of this video, or you can just check the channel and I put the link there too. Either one, whichever one works best for you. Am I going to make more coloring pages? Yes. I definitely want to make more. I just need a little bit of breathing room between projects because when I was in the thick of it, it was like anytime I wasn't editing a vlog, I was working on coloring pages, which just became a lot. I just need to like chill out for a little bit. So I'm filming this on Thursday, which means that several days of the week have already passed that I've been filming, and I have been doing a lot of wandering around and looking at things, which is the best way for me to recharge my battery. We went to the zoo this weekend, mostly because we wanted to see the new baby elephant, who is so cute. Look at this chunk, this absolute unit of a 600-pound baby elephant. I just love that the National Zoo is like so close by. It's so accessible. You can get there on the metro. And the fact that it's free, that's so huge. There's no pressure like there is when you're traveling to see a zoo or an aquarium or a theme park or whatever, where it feels like you need to see everything all at once because you don't know when you're gonna come back. Like the zoo is there. It's not going anywhere. So we can just take our time, see what we want to see, and then come back some other time to see other stuff. I'm gonna be super honest here. I know big animals are a lot of the reason why people want to go to the zoo, but my favorite animals at the zoo are actually the little guys. I love seeing prairie dogs. I love seeing the meerkats. The meerkats are like my favorite thing. Maybe like the biggest animals I like are like the cheetahs, and often it's because they usually have an emotional support dog, which if you don't know that, look it up. It's great. Then on another day, I went to Barnes & Noble after much poking and prodding of myself to actually get in the car and go. I'm taking myself to the store. I thought about it for a second and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And then I was like, you know what? You got all dressed up. So you are going to the store. And I know I'm going to have fun when I get there, but it's just like getting myself to go. I just need to do it. This is so embarrassing, but I do the same thing every time I go to Barnes & Noble. The first thing I do is I go look at the specialty notebooks and convince myself that I do not need to buy another one because I have so many notebooks at home. And then I go and look at the cookbooks and I flip through and stare at all the photos of food because I like to draw food, so I like to stare at photos of food and books. Then I go look at the graphic novels to see if there's anything new that came out that I might be interested in, and I often will take pictures of them so I can add them to a list to gradually acquire them so I don't buy tons of books all at once. And then the last thing I do is I go look at the budget books because sometimes they will put good visual aid books on sale for like really cheap. And I do that every time I go to Barnes & Noble without fail. I am a creature of habit. I'm also trying to spend a little more time paying attention to Junie right now because she was very patient with me and my partner when we were really busy in the last couple of weeks. We've been spending a lot of time walking her, the three of us together, which has been really nice, and I can tell that she's enjoying it a lot. Look at this little dog and her no bones. What are you doing? Is that comfortable, Junie? I still have a couple of days to film more activities, and I definitely have things planned that I'm going to film, but I did, in the meantime, make this. Look at this. I did that. I know, I'm so fast, right? I said I was gonna do this and it's already, one of them's already done. Honestly, it helps that it's Summer Game Fest right now, so I'm literally just like plowing through these live streams while I'm working, and it makes the time go so much faster. I really didn't think I was going to finish one of these so fast, but having the drafting and the inks already done actually made a huge difference. It was just so much easier to jump right in and go straight to render. I have the time-lapse footage, so shall we look at that and I will talk you through a little bit of my thought process about the whole thing. If you're sensitive to flashing, I'm gonna put a timestamp on the screen somewhere, so go to that timestamp and then you can skip the whole time lapse, okay? Or just turn the computer or whatever you're watching on around and you can just listen. Cool? Okay, great. I chose this to be my first final render because this is the closest to the work I like to make the most already. My one rule for rendering this was do not use dark purple or dark blue for the background. I work in bright vivids, which means if I want the colors to pop easily with minimal effort, all I really have to do is slap on a dark background and call it a day. Sometimes that really is just the best decision for a piece, but for this one I was like, no, we're doing something different and we're going to figure out how to make this work. The coloring pages are all a late spring picnicky theme, so having a dark background just didn't make sense to me for the full render. The tricky part to start was that I realized I needed to wiggle the original drawing a bit to get it to fit the way I wanted on the canvas. The border around all of the coloring pages is about a ½ inch, which means it's not 100% exact because I did it on Procreate, hence the wiggling. I got it for the most part, but as I was rendering further, I did need to continually shift certain elements around to get it all to sit more balanced. I had to move the words a little and then just shift the pasta up a bit more on the page. There ended up being quite a few slight variations I ended up going with from the original design, but that's just the nature of inks versus finish, especially when you work in a style like mine where lines are there but not everywhere and not all in the same color. Sometimes what worked in the inks isn't going to fly as you keep rendering further, but I think recognizing those moments is part of the fun of rendering. I like my flat shapes to have a textured edge, so what I do is I use my go-to liner brush to draw my outlines, and then I use the selection tool to fill in the shapes. The brush I like often creates gaps that prevent effective paint bucket style color filling. If you remember Microsoft Paint, you know what I'm talking about. So it's just better to do it this way. Plus, it's easier on my carpal tunnel and saves a lot of time rather than coloring it in manually anyway. I have a big hand-picked color palette I use all the time. They're like my tried and true colors. I've had this palette set up for at least the last couple of years. If you don't have one, I highly suggest doing it because it's the easiest way to start making your work feel cohesive color-wise. I decided to restrict my blends to about 4 to 5 colors per shape, so a couple lights and a couple of darks. Just enough to get a yummy gradient blend without causing color harmony issues. Sometimes I'll go crazy with the blends and try to throw in surprise pops, like a random blue or some purple, but it really needs to fit the piece, and you have to be super careful or you'll end up with it all looking really muddy. The thing is though, is that I say muddy and it doesn't actually look muddy, but the feeling is muddy. Does that make sense? You have to do it to know what I'm talking about, I feel like. I layer on initial blends with a chalk textured brush, and then whatever the last color of the blend is will often go on with a screen tone brush instead. I use these brushes so much now that they've basically become like a signature of my work. I honestly couldn't imagine making pieces without them anymore. I don't know what that would look like. I think even if I added new texture brushes, I would still use these as the base. For clarity between shapes, I'll often use dark and light outlines to differentiate shape borders just a little bit. You may have noticed that while my coloring page lines are in black, I never actually use black or white. They're both included in my palette, but unless they're a background color, I rarely, if ever, grab them. I've just found that using pale yellow or pink for white and dark blue or purple for blacks works better for me. It gives a lot more of a vivid look, which is what I want. This is just a preference, so if you like black and white and you want to use it, go ahead. They definitely have a place in a palette, it just really depends on the mood that you're trying to convey along with your overall style. Technically, I could probably use multiply or overlay layers to create these easier, but I want them to add to the blend that I've already made, so I often opt for hand-picking my colors for these lines. Honestly, the hardest part of doing this was deciding how to organize the layers for all the shapes in the pasta salad. They're all sitting on top of each other in not the easiest way to separate, so it ended up being a bit of a mess. It's fine, we figured it out eventually. When it came to the lettering in the background, what I did was pull a couple blends from the pasta salad shape shapes to make it feel more cohesive overall. So the lettering blend came from the tomatoes, the border blend came from the cucumbers / the basil. The checkerboard background I added on a whim, but I really liked it, so I let it stay. And then you may not have noticed it because it's very, very subtle, but there's a soft purple chalk grain across the background, like the main background with the yellow and the checkering, for just a little bit of texture. And then the purple helps to serve a double purpose of helping to mute down the yellow just a little bit so that the main shapes in the front pop out more. And then my final trick was to take a bright sky blue on a color burn layer and put that behind the main pasta salad shape. Sometimes you just need a real good glow to get a solid pop of focus and add some more separation between the front and the background. Could I explain to you 100% why it works? No. I just had a feeling and I did it and it worked. But when it works, it works. Yeah, so that's that. It was really fun. Overall, this came together so fast and I just love the way it looks in the end. It's so bright, it feels very spring, summer, and it just looks really tasty, doesn't it? It looks tasty. I know the tomatoes have faces, but if the tomatoes didn't have faces, it looks delicious. I ordered a new stand for my phone because the one that you guys are on right now is like a tripod, and when I try to film overhead, the legs are always just like in the frame. In terms of aesthetics for the shot, it just looks messy, so I don't want to use footage like that, but I do want to film some like color with me things. Even if I change my mind now and I decide that I want to film it later or some other time, having something like this is good. Also, it comes with a clamp, so I could like clamp my phone to any shelf and take different shots. And it will let me film vertical, which is a huge problem with this tripod that I have right now, is that I realized I can't film vertically. I bought this instead of what I kept getting advertised online, which was that canvas lamp, because the canvas lamp with the weighted stand was like $200. And people said they liked this one, which was $80, and then I got it on sale for $50 on the Container Store website, which is a steal. I got a little nervous because it looked like someone tried to open the box, but maybe they saw what was in here and they were like, nah. Let me get this box out of the way. This is probably like the least aesthetic shot that I have ever shot, but it's fine. I bought this hover bar duo. It's like a pretty hefty box. So technically this stand is supposed to be for iPads, but people said like, yeah, you could totally use it with phones. Ooh, okay, I think I need to like build it. Let me build it. Ooh, okay. I got really scared that this wasn't gonna fit my phone. I had to like hold it up to my phone for a second, but no, this will fit. It'll fit and it looks really sturdy and nice. Okay, what is this? Okay, there's the clamp, and then where's the mount? This is the mount. Wait, how do I get it out? All right, this is gonna be a big problem if I can't even figure out how to get it out of the box. Oh, I see. Sturdy, great. So far, so good. Okay, I aligned this washer with the, hold on. Is this like really tight? I think this is really, oh yeah, that's why it works. Oh, okay, got it. Hard to bend, but that's really good for me. Okay, and then this is nice little plastic to keep it nice. And I just click, oh my God, it's already got Junie's hair all over it. Oh, is this so I can turn this? Aha, okay, I got it. And then I need to put this bit on top of here. Let's see, hold on, I can do this. Okay, that's a line. And then righty tighty, lefty loosey. Yep. And I think I should be able to, for overhead footage, I think I should be able to turn it like this. Oh, that's so nice. Look at that. I can totally do this. This is amazing. Okay, does it bend even further? Can I? Oh, yes. So it's a little wobbly when I do this, but I could honestly just put something on top of this and I would be fine, I think. Oh, I literally can like put the clamp on top and that's like 100% enough. I'm sure with the phone I might need to put something heavier, but hey, if it works, right? It works. This is awesome. Wow, I'm so glad I did not spend like $200 for one of these things. This is gonna be just fine, I think. I know the white balance keeps changing and I don't know what it is about this room that's making that happen. So hopefully it's not terrible. I said I was gonna record a couple more things and then I got food poisoning. So what are you gonna do? I did get to do one of the things that I wanted to do, which was to go to the Eastern Market Flea Market. It's a really nice open air flea market here in DC. I didn't film though as much as I wanted to because there were a lot of kids, so I didn't want to accidentally film them. So I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna get some wide shots and then leave it at that. So that's what I got. I had a good time. I got Junie a cute little neckerchief. Maybe I'll share a photo of that later if I put it on her. It's really hot right now, so I couldn't imagine putting her in a neckerchief right now. It's like 90 something degrees outside. I think the heat index is like 106 today. So that's gonna be all for this video. A little bit shorter, but that's okay. I am already working on the next coloring page that I want to take to final render. Do you think you can guess what it is? If you think you know what it is, you should put your guess in the comments of this video and we'll see if you get it right. Or you could put in the comments if there is one that you would like to see next, because I am taking suggestions. The only one that I'm thinking of not taking to render is this one, because it just isn't, I don't know, I'm just not feeling the vibes of this one, so I don't think I'm gonna fully render it. Maybe I'll change my mind later, but yeah, which leaves 3. So one of the 3, if you can guess which one, let me know. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me this week, you guys. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, feel free to check out any of the other vlogs on my channel. I think this is like number 32. I've made a lot of them. Although I might start privating the earlier ones soon because they're like super long and just not as well made as the most recent ones. If you'd like to be notified when the next video comes out, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I post every 2 weeks on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm also posting shorts now, so you'll see those pop up sometimes, and sometimes they're related to the vlog, and sometimes they're not really. They're more like just little funny things that I film. They're doing pretty good. I'm honestly surprised how well they're doing. But that's it. That's everything. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.